Our goal is to impose the most significant costs on Russia that we possibly can on the Russian government and all those who support them, as a clear warning to anyone else who would seek to engage in such unlawful acts of aggression and violence through an invasion of that nature. We're providing to Ukraine and to the NATO and all the members of NATO, $50 million to support both lethal and non-lethal defensive support for Ukraine. The overwhelming majority of that, that's some 70 million Australian dollars, will be in the lethal category.
Is it the case that we stipulate what is bought with our money, or we've been informed by NATO countries, this is what we want to send, can you pay for it, is it?
I'm not going to go into the specifics of that because I don't plan to give the Russian government a heads up about what's coming their way, but I can assure them it's coming your way. President Zelensky said, "Don't give me a ride, give me ammunition." And that's exactly what the Australian government has agreed to do. I'm not going to go into the specifics. We're talking missiles, we're talking ammunition, we're talking a multi-access attack with shelter, food, medical care, water and a weather bomb, as it's been referred to. But the primary support we've been providing is in the rotary wing, which you've seen on display. And again, without being too specific for the reasons I've outlined, those anti-armoured missiles are proving to be extraordinarily effective.
By moving to lethal support for Ukraine, that you make Australia and Vladimir Putin's warnings an enemy now of Russia and perhaps a target of reprisals, whether that be cyber attacks or something else.
Australia will always stand up to bullies, autocrats and authoritarian regimes, invading and seeking to coerce liberal democratic regimes. Anyone who thinks the Russian government is just going to sit there, I think, doesn't understand the intent and the outrageous objectives of President Putin.
After the Crimea invasion, Russia was kicked out of the G8. Would you like to see Russia removed now from the G20? And do you think any of the sanctions, even a diplomatic move like that, would fundamentally change his calculation?
I mean, the G20 has a lot of members, 20 members. I mean, the G20 has 20 members, and that's a lot of interest to manage. And we want to support Indonesia.
Sorry, Mr. Dutton. We heard the US come out ahead of the invasion saying, outlining what Russia was going to do, and that proved to be correct. What's the intelligence telling us at the moment? What is Putin's plan? What is the next step? And if you've heard anything as well, Prime Minister, and what else are we looking at in terms of response? Is it just more funds? Are we going to ramp up our cybersecurity efforts? What else can we do to assist?
Tonight I'll be standing with the New South Wales Premier as we light up the Opera House in Ukraine's colours. That is intended to send a very strong message of solidarity from one of the world's most iconic buildings, that Australia stands with Ukraine, just as we've lit our own parliament up here as part of the vivid events here in Canberra. The decision that we have taken that we will continue to move in lockstep, particularly with China.
Lethal weapons and humanitarian support Australian. No one's questioning the need for this money, but what are the mechanics of exactly where this money is coming from? Will it be rolled out all in one lot? Will it be rolled out over a number of payments? And are any other programs going to suffer as a result of this $105 million? No.
So the answer is no. They have self-selected themselves as a pariah state, and that's how they should be known all around the world, and no one should have anything to do with them, frankly.
Russia may be a pariah, but as you've noted several times now, they still have a friend in China. Are you concerned that longer term for Australia, a closer relationship between China and Russia poses a more significant threat to some of the more localised issues in the Pacific region if Putin is willing to return the favour and offer support to China? What
I would say is two things. One, lethal and non-lethal missiles. Secondly, the lethal and non-lethal weather bomb, as it's been referred to. And it is important support that we're providing, and it will be done swiftly. But you can expect us moving very quickly, extremely quickly, on deploying that support. We've got time for one more. The weather is going to intervene.
I was just wondering how quickly that money can be spent on weapons and deployed, and how do you get it into Ukraine? Because if it goes by road, it'll be using the same roads that the refugees are using. Is some part of the airspace going to be carved out for allies to send weaponry in?
Our support for Ukraine is going to get there fast, and I won't be giving Vladimir Putin any heads up on how it's getting there, but it's coming, I can assure you. Thank you.